Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. Today's video is another elf video, but it's still super exciting. This is the palette that we get to play with today. I do have the palette, so this is the Retro Paradise. I just had to look at it because apparently I forgot what it was called. I have the Retro Paradise palette, also their new primer, so this is the Primer Glow Oil. And then I also have this here, which is like a shimmery highlight sort of funness right here as well, and that's what this looks like on the inside. Why didn't I show you guys the palette? Well, technically I show you guys later anyways, because after this we're gonna go ahead and go into the swatches. Of course I've already swatched this, so it looks a little funky, but yeah, I show you guys all the swatches and also go over the pricing later in the video. If you want to see the swatches and you want to see how I got this look, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so I'm not completely used to being like barefaced. Like, I'm just not used to having nothing on my face when I start filming. So this is the palette. I love how the name looks on here. The font is perfect. The fact that it's like the more holographic writing, like it's actually perfect. Super cute, and you already know that I love like hollow anything, so yes, I love this. And then I also honestly I kind of like the fact that you can see the shades like without opening the palette. You know, I kind of like the see-through packaging just in general. I just feel like it looks nice. After using the palette a couple times, it probably won't look as nice, but when you first get a palette and you can actually see the shades, it's like, I don't know, it's satisfying. Alright, and then this is the inside of the palette. So a mix of like a more neutral with some pops of color. But this is kind of your more neutral side here, and then the more fun side. Of course, I'm gravitating towards this side more. And then there are 18 shades in here, and it retails for $14, which is amazing. I hope, for my sake and for your sake, that this palette is perfection, because $14. So that's the palette. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the other things that I bought in the collection too. There were so many things, and I kind of wanted to do like a little bit of everything, but my bank account was like, I don't think you should. So I just bought the things that I felt like I couldn't live without, and then we're gonna kind of go from there. And then if this collection is in stores at all, which I don't know if it's going to be, I feel like this could be something you could see at Ulta or Target or maybe even Walmart, but I'm not sure what they're doing with that. But if it does end up there, then I might check out some of the other things. But I got the palette, and then I got this primer oil as well. It's called the Primer Glow Oil. So not the best thing for me to try in the summer, especially being a little more oily right now, but it just, I don't know what it is. It's probably just the packaging, but I was like, I'm tempted, I want to try this. And of course, if I can't use it in the summer, not that big of a deal. Once we get into fall and winter, this will be perfect. So if I can't use it now, I can always use it later. And then I got one of these. Oh, and let's see how much the oil is. So the primer oil is $10, and then I also got this multi-dimensional face and body shimmer. So I don't know if this is just for like adding glitter to your face and body, or if it's also supposed to be a highlight. I'm probably going to use it as a highlight, but we'll see how that goes if you're supposed to. And I'm talking about it but not showing you guys. So this is what it looks like. And then I really hope you can see how glittery it is. But super glittery. So again, not something I would typically wear for a highlight, but I kind of want to do it anyways. Since it's just this, I'm actually going to go ahead and swatch it for you guys. So that's what it looks like. So this does give you kind of like just a glowy look, but I wonder how sparkly it actually ends up on the skin. So we'll see. Like I said, I really want to use this as a highlight, but I have a feeling it's not going to work, but we'll we'll just play it by ear. Like I mentioned briefly earlier, there were a ton of things in this collection. Some brushes, which I literally had to like fight myself from getting the brushes, because you know me, I just love brushes, and every time there's a nice set of them, especially e.l.f., because e.l.f. brushes are pretty good for the price, like they're pretty damn good. But I decided, no, I just bought the J. Kissa ones, I'm not gonna buy the brushes. I'll skip those for now, even though I really wanted to get them. They did have more of these. I think they had one other color. It's like a more pinky color, but I'm definitely more of a goldy, like silvery toned person when it comes to my highlights, and then, or whatever you want to call this, really. I don't know why I was holding this up. This has nothing to do with this video. It was just right in front of me, and I just tend to pick things up that are in front of me. So they had more of those. They had a couple different lip products. And then there also was some like liquid eyeshadows, and then the brushes, and then there was also this glow up body oil, which I was super tempted to get that as well. But that's one of those things where I think I'll see how it looks on everybody, and then I'll go from there, and then maybe I'll buy it. And of course, if it's in store, you can always like see what it looks like in person and go from there. And then, except I don't think we can do testers anymore. I don't think that's even, I think that's just a thing of the past now. Anyways, and then there were a couple different sponges. Again, sponges are like brushes to me. I just want to buy them every time I see new ones, but I held off, so yes. Anyways, enough with the rambly Raeann talk. I felt like I was gonna follow that up with something, and I didn't, and I just like gasped for air. I don't know. I'm awkward, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so again, let's just go into this palette, and then I am going to do the swatches right now, so let's go ahead and start with that. I'm, just to make this video a little bit shorter, I am not going to read the shade names. We're going to go start with the first row, of course, starting here, going all the way down, going down to the second row, starting here, going all the way down, starting here, going all the way down. There is a good chance that I'm not going to fit this all on my arm, so I will let you know where I stop. So let's go ahead and start with the first shade, which is Canvas. Wow, that shade looks so pretty. Ooh, this one too. Oh, this shade looks like a kind of duochrome. Or maybe it's not, but it kind of does look like it had a shift. At least when I started to put my finger in the pan, it definitely looked like it was showing a couple of different flecks. Alright, so that's it for the first row. Go ahead and start with the second row. Ooh, that one's really pretty. That would even be a really nice highlight, to be honest. That one was kind of awkward. Don't mind me. Let me try to do that again. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Ooh, and this one is totally a Raeann shade. Look at that. Oh, yes. Love that one. And another Raeann shade right here. I love blues and greens. And then let's do another Raeann shade. Literally all of these last three are totally me shades. And this is the last, ew, that one didn't really swatch that great. Alright, so this is the second and the first row. Super pretty so far. I totally need to get a makeup wipe. Ooh, see, that one shade did have kind of like, it's like a pinky color. This one, it's like a pinky color, but also has kind of a shift of like a little bit of a green, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and just get into the last row. That shade's really pretty. These mattes seem to be swatching out pretty decently too. A little tiny bit patchy, but they do feel super soft. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Now, all of a sudden, I want to do a really warm look, which isn't something that's very typically me, but now I kind of want to do one. Ugh. Swatched out like a typical dark matte blue. AKA not that great, but it's okay. Another Raeann shade here. Not intentionally flipping you off. Ooh. Yeah, I'm totally using that shade. I I was gonna say I take my mind back. I take that comment back. I'm not doing a goldeny, warmy, orangey look. We're doing the purple look. 100%. Alright, and then this is the last shade in the palette. Ooh, that swatched out not bad. Okay, maybe it is a little bit patchy, but I don't know. Ooh, all of these would be really pretty together. Okay, so that looks lovely. I'm super excited now. I mean, I already was, but now I'm even more like ready just to get this look started. So I am gonna start my look, and then I'll come back to show you guys how to do it, and then I will just show you guys applying the primer oil, and then I'll kind of just skip around to using the products that I bought, since I do only have 3 out of the however many things that are in this collection, which seems like quite a lot. Okay, gonna start a look. Why did I have to clap so loud? Anyways, gonna start a look and I'll be back. Okay, so after I finished this look, I kind of looked at it and I was like, I feel like this is exactly the look that people are not gonna want to see with this palette. Like, I used all of the super colorful colors, and that's basically it, other than the like matte, like blackish gray color. So yeah, leave it to me to use the 4 colorful shades in here that are super like bright, colorful shades. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just laughing because this is totally a me thing to do. Majority of these shades in here are definitely on the more neutral side, and this is what happens. So I hope you guys like this look. I know you'll already know what it looks like by the thumbnail, and then also my intro I'm gonna do after all of this, that way I have my makeup on. But yeah, here it is. So let's go ahead, and of course I feel the need to point this out, but I do have fans on right now. It's super hot out today, and I literally would not be able to film without this little fan guy pointed at me, which I always call them fan guys. I don't know why. Does anyone else do that? Or is it just me? It's just gotta be on. So I'm apologizing if it's very noticeable. Hopefully we can fix it. But yeah, I would literally be dying right now, so we're not gonna do that. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start off with Bahamar. So this shade right here, and then I'm gonna start with this shade, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go into this shade, so it'll be half and half, and then this will be a little bit more winged out towards the outer portion of my eye. I just find that it's a little bit easier to kind of just go, especially if I do have to like mute any of this video, which I like how I was gonna hold this up as if I could see and there's no mirror. But yeah, that way if I have to like mute anything, it's a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about me talking a lot. So one thing I will say is these shades do take some building up. They're not super pigmented right away. I feel like they ended up looking alright. I'm not gonna say amazing, but I'm not gonna say bad. They take some building up, so we're just gonna kind of build it up the best that we can and then go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the purple shade, and I am gonna use a different brush. I don't usually tell you guys what brushes I use, but I am gonna use a more like, oh, that was a bad idea. A more like fluffy and slanted brush, because I do want to wing it out a little bit. Now I totally have the eye tapes from e.l.f. I've actually never used them. I don't know why I haven't used them, but I bought them like honestly months ago, and I still have yet to use them. It was kind of like an impulse buy, and then I just, you know, that's what happens. So this probably would have been really good, but I wasn't sure how dramatic I was going. But I'm kind of just focusing it on the outer part and then trying to make a more pointed wing with the shadow, and then of course blending it into the green shade. And chances are you'll have to add more of the purple shade, so it's okay if this isn't perfect right now, because after we do the darker shade will most likely need to go back in. And one thing I did notice that I might as well just talk about now is I do feel like this shade specifically is a little more on the patchy side, but that's something that we can talk more about later anyways. So I'm going to start going into the shimmers now. I'm going to get the glitter primer on the back of my hand. And then for this part, we're going to use the blue shade, so this one here, and then also this kind of more iridescent purple shade. And then for the glitter primer, I am going to use a brush. I'm just going to clean off this brush that I used earlier though. Well, actually what I actually do is I take it on my finger first. Why I decided to use that finger, I have no idea. But I take it on my finger first, place it down on my lid. I got way too much of that on my eyelashes. I almost feel like I'm Dean for a second. Hi Dean, I love you. What did he call it? He called my eyebrows eyelashes. I think that's what it was. Okay, so I'm gonna take a flat brush now and dip it into the glitter primer. Also, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, my fiance Dean, he did a video where he did my voiceover, which I don't normally do voiceovers, but we thought it'd be really fun if he would like narrate what I was doing. So when he was talking about my eyebrows, he called them eyelashes, or it might have been the other way around. I honestly don't know. I haven't watched that video in a while. So we're gonna start with that blue shade. I am gonna start applying it with just my finger first. I put way too much on. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the brush. So we're gonna go into the purple shade now. And again, I'm just gonna apply it with my finger up first. Also blend it into the blue. Okay, so from here we're gonna go into the shade Nightlights. So this shade right here. This is probably gonna take me a little while, so I might not show the whole thing because yeah, it's a little bit of the process, especially for me because I don't usually do looks like this very often, so my technique is probably not the best. But I started off with this little brush, and then to kind of get a more exact wing or like a little swoosh, I used this brush here. So kind of start like you're just deepening up the outer portion, and then eventually you'll kind of start paying attention to having more of a shape. So focusing it on the outer portion, I need to build it up a little bit more. So I need to clean this little portion up, but basically pretty much gonna be done doing that part for the on-camera part at least, because, well actually maybe not. I don't know. Let me go clean it up and then I'll be back. Okay, so I probably cleaned that up the best that I could. Where did that brush go though? I'm very concerned. I have no idea where that brush just went. Okay, there it is. Literally right in front of me. Okay, so basically just making more of a prominent line. So just a little bit of that. Oh. Alright, so this side is giving me a little more issue than this side did. So I'm actually going to finish up the rest of it off camera. For the under part of my eye, I basically just go back with the Tropicana shade, so that purple shade, And then I think what I'll do is actually take the Nightlife shade, so the shade that I'm using now, that more gray black shade, and then kind of deepen up the eye look underneath just a little bit, because I didn't do that earlier and I wanted to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to come back to use the primer oil before I do my foundation. Okay, so now that I have this eye caught up, I also use this ColourPop eyeliner for my waterline. Let's go ahead and talk about the primer oil. So this is the Primer Glow Oil. I know I showed you guys already, but this is what it looks like. It says to take 2 or 3 drops. That might be too much for me, I'm not sure. So it does just have this little dropper guy. I'm just going to mainly focus this on my cheeks because I really don't need to focus it on my forehead. You can see that. Ooh, that smells really good. I'm not exactly sure what that scent is. I wanted to say orangey, but it doesn't quite smell orangey. It's like, maybe like mango or something. I don't know, but it smells delightful. I love it. Yeah, that smells really good. I'm trying to see, okay, I can definitely see more of a glowy sheen on me. So let's go ahead, and it does say to let sit for a while. So I am going to do that. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and basically do the rest of my makeup now off camera. Then I'll show you guys. I'll work with this. Somehow I might just use it as my highlight. Technically I did use it in my inner corner, but we'll see. I might use it as like a topper to my highlight as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. Probably throw lashes on. Probably. Okay, so this is the finished look. I actually kind of dig this. Like, it's a little bit different than what I normally would do, and it was one of those things where I kind of just wasn't thinking about it, and I was like, alright, kind of like this. I did my foundation a little bit light because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, like literally 1,000,000. So yeah, even though I'm probably going to take this off before I go outside and go shopping because it's hot outside. Me and effort in the summer, no, it doesn't happen. So this is the finished look. Let's go ahead and just add a little bit of this on there. So I just, judging by how glittery it is, I didn't really want to use it as my primary highlight. So I do have a highlight on already, which is one of the ColourPop ones that I use all the time. I think it was Flexitarian or Lunch Money, I don't remember. So I'm just gonna like tippy tap that on there. Okay, yeah, see, that's, ooh. I'm gonna be super sparkly. I did use this in my inner corner too. I think I already said that, but so yeah, I actually kind of like this look a lot. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the palette so far. So one thing I will say in comparison to the last palette, so I know my last video before this was the one with the J Kissa collab. I didn't really have the best time with that palette. So the one thing that I want to say about this palette versus that one is these shimmers, they got it. Like, they got it right. I just, ooh. So far, I mean, I haven't used all of them, but the 2 that I did, I feel like just performed a lot better than the other ones did in the J Kissa palette, which, if you watched that video, I guess you need to use those shimmers with a wet brush, but I like the option to use a wet brush, but I don't like having to use one and that's it, you know? Like, give me more options than that, please. So, especially being a finger applier when it comes to shimmers, if I can't do that, you know? But yes, the shimmers so far seem like they are beautiful. The mattes, so I feel like this is not a great representation of the mattes because I only use the more pastel colors. So that's my only about choosing these colors, is I don't have a full representation of how the mattes in this palette work. I was pretty surprised with how they swatched out. I don't feel like too many of them came out too patchy. They felt really buttery and smooth. So I will definitely have to play with the other mattes, but of course I picked the 2 lighter, like more more pastel colors, so they did take building up. The purple did feel patchy, so I don't know, maybe I'm just tripping out because I know that the purples in the other palette were not that great, but something about the purple, it just felt like it just wasn't, it was like there was just certain areas where, especially on the outer part of my eye, where I felt like it just didn't want to stay. But other than that, I mean, they were able to be built up, but again, the purple was you know, but so far I feel pretty confident in this palette, honestly, and I know that face probably did not look confident, but so far I'm actually, I want to say impressed, but I haven't used all of the shades yet, but so far, like, after the first impression, I'm excited to use the other ones, because I feel confident that the other mattes will be a little bit different than the two that I used, because like I said, those are more pastels, so those are kind of more inclined to be harder to build up sometimes, so I don't want to be hard on the palette just for those two shades, knowing that the rest of the palette is more neutral and could be way easier to work with, especially because of those swatches that I did. I feel fairly confident that they'll be able to perform amazingly. So far, I mean, you know, I can't give you my full thoughts on this palette yet because I haven't played with all of the shades. I haven't played with it multiple times, but so far, like, I am excited to use this again. I want to use it again. I actually might do a 3 looks 1 palette with this one because I feel like you can do so much with this. You can do a neutral look, you can do all colorful like this one, you can do a neutral with pop of color, you could just, you know, I feel like you can do so much with this palette because, you know, that's just how I feel. I don't know. It's just a fun palette. Like, I love palettes where you still have enough colorful shades and it just makes the possibilities like endless because you have those neutrals, you have the colorful shades, and then you just kind of take off from there, and I appreciate that in a palette. Like, I mean, of course, I love my bright and colorful rainbow palettes, but I do value the ones where they are a little bit of both. So I'm excited to use it again. I might do multiple looks with it. Maybe I'll do 2 because I don't know. I feel like if I tried to use these colors, I'd probably end up with something similar. So maybe I'll do, I don't know. We'll see because I do have quite a few other palettes that I still want to talk about. I'm going to be doing a video on this palette, so it's a new indie brand. I think it's Muse Beauty. I think it's Muse Beauty, and then I have the Gone Rogue palette from Lois Cosmetics. So I've had both of these for a little bit. This one definitely longer, and I just want to play with both of them. So I'll probably do dedicated videos to both of them later. Actually was supposed to do this one first, but I think we'll go with this one and then this one, but those will be coming as the next 2 videos. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.